Well, folks, here again for the weekly forecast. During this last week, of course, we've seen some scattered thunderstorm activity, particularly across southern Nebraska, with the heaviest of the cells that we reported during this last 7-day period centered over the region of south central Nebraska, essentially in the Blue Hill area, up to just south of Hastings. There was about a county and a half total area where we received anywhere from 3 to upwards of 7 inches of moisture. Outside of this region, 1 or 2 inches was common in the surrounding region. And then we had some isolated pockets of heavy precipitation scattered throughout southeastern Nebraska. So that did make some big changes in the drought monitor. But before we get to the drought monitor, let's take a look and see how the precipitation fell out during this last month. Now, I know this is a little bit difficult, but most of the heaviest precipitation was across eastern Nebraska, indicated by these dark blues. We had anywhere from 2 inches in some areas up to 10 inches of moisture, just depending on if you're under one of the heavier thunderstorms. But I want to draw your attention to a very wide swath from southwest Nebraska all the way through north central Nebraska, where most locations have failed to receive even an inch of precipitation during the month of August. And this is an area that was just recently upgraded to abnormally dry conditions. And we'll see that with their most recent drought monitor, depicting the worst of the drought conditions over south central Nebraska, although we've had some significant improvements. Here's that expanded area that was just introduced of abnormally dry conditions. And I'll turn your attention to the Panhandle, where most of the drought has been eliminated, and we've shored up the area basically to near normal conditions over the southern half of the Panhandle, and the northern half of the Panhandle has now moved to abnormally dry conditions. Now, in terms of what is going on presently, we have a trough to the west of us, and then of course we have this energy left over from Hurricane Hermine that is now situated in the mid-Atlantic region, is expected to move slightly toward the northeast and then kind of stall out for a couple days. But in our region, we're looking at, just in the southeast and south central part of the state, we're looking at a little bit of lift and some chances for thunderstorm activity, although it will decrease over the next 24 hours as we start to see ridging take place at the surface. With that big trough to the west, it doesn't look like we'll see much in the way of significant moisture as we go through Sunday. And as we go into Monday, we'll see that basically in the southwest and northeast flow, and that's therefore not much in the way of significant moisture. These blues indicate subsiding air. So we will see temperatures slightly increase, but we're not expecting any significant heat. And as we go into Tuesday, this trough starts to approach our region, so we should see some thunderstorms developing, particularly across the western half of the state. Some of that spreading eastward during the overnight hours and moving into eastern Nebraska on Wednesday morning. And here you can see a little other piece of energy kind of shooting out into the northern plains. So there's going to be several rounds of thunderstorm activity. And more importantly, as we get into Thursday, now we start to see the trough making a move to eastern Nebraska, and our precipitation chances are probably going to increase rather significantly as we go into the late portion of the week. Here's that trough starting to make its inroads into eastern Nebraska and western Nebraska, bringing in much cooler conditions and precipitation. We could actually see a little bit of scattered precipitation for the game on Saturday night. And as we look at the 8 to 14 day forecast, cool conditions will continue, and in terms of precipitation, well above normal precipitation from next Thursday through the following Tuesday.